Today I'm going to show you how to make these ultra sleek crossed lines triangle threader earrings. Welcome back to another episode of hand stamped jewelry making using the infinity block. I hope you enjoy this. Today I'm going to show you how to make these ultra sleek threader earrings using the infinity block. First, I need to introduce these clever threading pins that I've created. Basically, they are stamping blanks already soldered onto a 50 millimeter, almost 2 inches, long hardened sterling silver pin that is about 20, just under 20 gauge. It's 21 gauge, and basically it is just under 0.8 millimeters. Normally with pins for the post of studs, I have them a little bit thicker, but because it's long and sometimes you're going to have to put it through, I have it slightly thinner so that it's more comfortable. So everything about this is designed to make really nice earrings very quickly. So now what we want to go through is the designing process. Now I have this drafted with the size like this. I've got these blanks, and you can create blanks yourself by drawing on a piece of paper. For example, I can just trace the outside of this, make sure that it's the right size, like this, okay? And then you want to draw your designs however which way and see how it works. So that way you save, sometimes it takes a lot longer, or you know exactly what you want and you can skip this process. But I find that it's a lot easier for me to sketch it out, see what I like before I start stamping. And I know I tend to want to jump right into it, but that helps a lot. In a previous video, I've introduced the stamping block, the infinity block, and basically it is very long. I'm going to show you from the side. You see? It is tempered steel with a hole that is 1.1 millimeters. And it's drilled all the way through this tempered steel, and it's non-trivial actually, because it's a very small hole we're trying to drill here. And actually it took me a long time to find a manufacturer who could drill such a small hole at this length and for it to be reasonably priced, because it is very slow. You can't go quickly and you break a lot of drill bits. But basically this will come through like this, and I've done the same thing through this block. This is hardened wood. And here, actually, the reason why I just wanted to, so in case I'm traveling, I have you've got pockets for the stamping blanks, punches, but basically this is what we want to do. You sit it down. Sometimes if you are not a planner and you're more visual, sometimes it's best to do this. So you can get inexpensive cellophane. I think this was something that I could buy to hold cookies. I'll get 2 sheets out of this. Okay, so the reason why sometimes you want to use this, something you can use tracing paper or whatnot, is that if you are doing right and left and it's asymmetrical, this way you can design it and then flip. So I haven't figured out what exactly I'm going to do, so I'm just going to put this down and think on it. By the way, this keeps shifting around, so what you can do is either tape the outside on top of it, or here is another trick that I quite like. Double-sided tape I don't have that, so masking tape will do. I just roll it like this, and I'm just going to use any, I happen to have this instrument, but any sort of thumbtack pin will do. So then what we do is we push this through. All right, like that. So now it's not moving, spinning. And then I can draw on top like this. Now I'm not sure if you can see with the reflection. I'm going to try to do it so that there's no reflection. But basically, I want sort of twigs, like irregular. Maybe something like that. I'm going to bring it close. Actually, then I'm going to trace the triangle, the outside, because I'll make it easy when I flip it around. I'm going to bring this close to you. See? I think I like that, where I want it asymmetrical and just lots of twigs crisscrossing, crossing lines like that. And I'm going to be using this right here, which is just the line. I'm going to do that. And I peel this off, and you will see that it looks like this. When I do it the other way, I know the pattern, and I kind of like that. So this is the good thing. You flip it and you'll see what it looks like. Now, if you do not have that, don't worry. You know, you can just trace, do a copy, take a photo, flip it on your cell phone, and then you get an idea and you just trace on the other side. By the way, I could simply put this on like this and stamp, but then I will destroy this piece and lose my pattern. I don't have to do that, but you can if you want. Or what you can do is you can put it like this and kind of just, it's very easy to follow the lines like such. So I like that. And I'm going to flip it just to see side to side. It's all the, that's good. So now I am ready to hammer. Now, I have to say, you can plan a little bit better. I'm just doing it this way. And if there are specific lines that are long, you can feel free to mark it on the outside so that when you are stamping, your hand's in the way, you can see the lines as guidelines, you know, like you want like here or whatnot. Feel free. That's the great thing about having tape. You can destroy that, extra papers, etc. So we are going to start stamping. You can stamp just like this. I'm going to let you hear this. You see, my table's not solid and it bounces. There's a lot of vibration and it's kind of loud. These are inexpensive. These are heavy sandbags for stamping. I'll let you hear it. You see? So I've got the one with a line, and actually the hardest part of all of this is designing and figuring it out. Now the stamping is very easy. Most of the punches are marked, which is front, etc., so that it's easy to guide, especially if alphabets, if you got it flipped. But this is a line, it's quite all right. So I'm going to start doing this. And the other thing is, a little later, I'm going to show you at an angle. But basically, you can place this down and then see where exactly it is going to be. There's a bit of reflection, but actually I am doing I like random. Okay, just to let you know that as you hammer, the piece will warp. I'm going to show you. The piece might warp a little bit, curve. That's okay, and that's normal. All you have to do is you don't want it to warp too much before fixing it, because especially if you're doing letters. In this case, it doesn't matter very much, but I want to take the opportunity to demonstrate. So what I'm going to do to flatten it is take a sheet of paper like this. Sometimes it'll be good if you had more paper with a bit of felt so that the hammer doesn't come through, but all you're doing here, tap, 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 is flattening it out. Then you can continue on and give you a close-up. Doesn't take long. So here, it's somewhat slightly warped because I've been hammering more on one side. That's okay. I'll show you the fixing. But basically, I've got quite a bit, and I've lost track of which way my lines are. That's okay. So now what I'm going to do is actually remove the marker. I've got this. And although I like it, I think I need some other lines going different ways to make the crisscrosses. But I'm going to flatten it a bit. Okay. As I'm seeing, most of my lines are like this, but I'm going to have a few crisscrosses. I think I like it organically random. Not sure if you can see this. And this is a good trick. This is a nail buffer. This side erases lines, makes it really polished, like almost like an eraser. Oxidation, it removes things. And then I'm going to see if I like that. If it is the case that some parts, because of the hammer, you scratched, no worries. This is slightly rougher, and that takes away some of the scratches that you don't like. So now it looks like it has a satin finish. If you want it high shine, use this part. See the difference? Okay, so I'm going to now use a marker to help me define the lines, and then I'll take another look. What you can do is you can have it so that it's light, the lines, the texture to be light, but in this case, I want there to be more contrast. So I'm going to make sure that the marker goes into the grooves. Don't worry if you're all over the place with your lines. Okay, and actually it allows you to see it better as to where your lines are and what you might be missing. So after that, you do the same thing. See, I've relieved the extra, and that's the effect I've got. And then I'll polish it a bit and see if I like that. I'm going to take a closer look and then decide. Although I like this, I think I want more texture. So I'm going to figure out that I'm going to add a few lines here. Something like that. So I am going to now go, and these are better planned lines. Not bad. Okay. Organic is always the way to go. So this is what I've got. Because I didn't hit it right on the lines that I had drawn, all I have to do is redo some of the lines. Putting the marker, making sure that it's right inside the grooves. Okay, so it's approximately like this. I quite like that. Spontaneous looking. I like that, and I don't want it high shine. In fact, I find it to be more elegant when it's brushed. Okay, so that is all that it takes. I know that, designing and trying to figure out is the part that takes longest. The fact that in the hammering, it is a lot easier. It's fast, and I don't have to solder. Now all I have to do is bend the shape, and there are a number of ways that we can do that. Here, this is the right and left that I've got, and I've done one earring like this to show you. It's nicely curved. I like the look. There's so many possibilities. You can also just have it square, straight down, which is easier. But I'm going to show you how to do this, like such. All it takes are a pair of pliers. Now, this is chain nose, and this is your square nose. The reason you don't have to have this, but this is exactly the same place, the same width every single time. In this case, you can make it narrower or wider. And if it is the case you're doing a pair at different times, so you can mark down where exactly on the pliers you are using as a template. Basically, it is always better, like this, to hold it and bend at the same time. But in this case, I am not doing that. And all I'm doing, I'm going to show you how easy it is. Basically, I hold on to this like such, and I bend a little bit. This. So I could stop here, okay? Or when you do this, push out, and naturally it goes in a curve like this. Okay, so what you do then is you want to make sure that both of them are the same. That's why it is always best making sure that you're holding the same spot. But say if you don't have these and you're doing them separately, what you want to do is you can actually mark where exactly you're bending it and do it separately like that. So here I've got this, and all you have to do is to make sure both of them are done the same way. It might take a little bit of practice at the beginning because you're not used to it, but it's very easy. And then at the very end, what you want to do is you want to look at this and you want to straighten like this, okay, so that it's not crooked. And then also, sometimes you don't have to, but a lot of people don't. And I prefer to see that it is straight down like this, so that it's square this way and it is square this way, so that when you wear it, it is not pivoting. And then once that is done, all you have to do to harden this is put this on the outside like this, once you're happy with it, and then you use a rubber mallet or something and you gently tap, and that work hardens it. And that's all that it takes. So these are the finished product. I love the asymmetry of those, and they're so beautiful. And if you are like me, you are far more creative, you have a lot more ideas than you are technical. I find that the design block allows me to create a lot more and keep up with my ideas than to be bogged down with soldering the fumes. I am a silversmith, but I found that it was taking me a long time, and by the time of getting it to be weld securely soldered, I found that I had lost steam. Whereas here, the joy is in the creating. And these are gallery quality threaders. And this is what they look like when worn. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, please like and subscribe. Stones and Findings is a wholesaler of premium quality chains and findings, as well as the inventor of the Infinity Blok. I'm going to leave more information below about our company, as well as the Infinity Blok and the components I've used in this video.